months ago, I had Guile as #1, but that was just me being a little silly. Didn't play against internationals. Didn't know much about the game's mechanic and how it will affect, the overall meta. So yeah, Guile is not, and I think most people would agree, Guile is not #1, like at all. I don't think he's top 3. He's not there. Amazing character, but he's not there. So let's put him here for now. #1 is definitely JP, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people would agree, but even if you don't, he's got to be in your top 3. And if he's not in your top 3, then you're just downplaying. But yeah, his, bruh, where do you even begin? Like, he's hard to whip punish. His normals are amazing. His zoning is it's like a tower defense game. So, you could beat the second best JP in bracket, and then if you have to play the best JP immediately after, there's no guarantee that you'll win. Or it could be reversed. You could beat the best JP, and then play the second JP in bracket, and he could just beat you because he might have done something different with his little tower defense timing. Or maybe he just didn't zone as much and he just abused his buttons. His level 2 is pretty mindless. I think characters with strong level 2, that's what pushes them over the edge. I'm just being one of the best. So his level 2 is pretty mindless. You don't even have to get a hit confirm. You can just kind of just throw it out. Like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. Let me just throw out this level 2. And then it usually works out. The biggest gripes with this game is throw loops and drive impact. So in the corner, when people are pretty hesitant, everyone say you gotta be resourceful in this game, and it's true, you have to. But with JP, you have a little bit more leeway. This is how it works. And it's because when he's burnt out, he could just amnesia. So the reason why you don't want to be burnt out too much is, you can't parry, you can't drive parry, and you can't drive impact. So when someone has you in the corner and you're in burnout and they do drive impact, most characters really can't do anything about it unless they have a super. But JP was 0 super meter, he can amnesia. Other he on top of him being on burnout and being on the defensive end, where most characters are very vulnerable, he's able to convert. So you do a drive impact, he does amnesia, and now you're eating 40% damage full screen and you might die. That just sucks. The other big complaint about this game is throw loops, and it's very obvious why people don't like it. Just constant coin flipping. It's just a guess. But JP, his defensive option is OD amnesia that it beats grabs for some reason. One of the only parries that I've known in existence that will beat a grab. So yeah, you try to grab JP, you eat 40% if he amnesias. And yeah, I just think the fact that he doesn't have to feel the same threat as everybody else with the throw loops and the vulnerability and being a burnout, I think it's pretty clear cut that he's the best. On top of him having a tower defense game, little mini game, and his normals, level 2, full screen level 3, he has a lot, so I don't think a lot of people would disagree he's #1. I'm sure you could kind of mix and match your top 3, but to me, I think those things I've stated makes him #1. So yeah, I had a lot to say about JP. I hate that character. I hate him. I despise it. I think he looks cool. He's a cool looking character, great animation. Okay. Now we got JP out the way. #2, and I also want to say that whoever ends up in the bottom line, that doesn't mean they're complete trash. I think every character in this game is viable. You could beat anyone with anyone in this game. Certain games, I don't think that was possible. But yeah, so to win a tournament, it's gonna be a little bit harder for A.K.I or E Honda, like it is with Street Fighter 5 with Vega. Some characters are gonna struggle more than others. But in this game, I think every character is viable for sure. All right, so #2, I think is Luke. And who did I have #2? Oh, wow, he actually didn't change. So my old tier list 4 months ago, Luke was #2. Yeah, he's actually the same. But yeah, overall solid character. I don't think he has any weaknesses. His corner carry is insane. His options on his combo routes, you could choose if you want Oki, if you want damage, or you want corner carry. When you have a choice to mix up which combo route you want to go. That's usually a tell that you have options, and that's a pretty good thing to have is options in a game as volatile as this. Yeah, I don't think he has any weaknesses. He has very low risk, high reward buttons like crouch and mean punch. That's like the talk of the town right now. It's very hard to whip punish, and Luke players understand that. So what they're doing now, which is really scrubby and dumb, but you gotta do it because it's just what you gotta do as a professional. You whiff crouch strong, crouch mean punch, and then you do it again because most great players are gonna try to whip punish your crouch strong because you're being a bum. You're whiffing a button, and a good player is gonna try to punish you. But since it recovers so fast and it pulls back so fast, your punish attempt button is gonna come out. But they already recovered, so they're gonna come back with another crouch strong. Then now you're eating 40% in the corner and you're gonna die. Like, watch any Luke match, it plays out like that all the time. And that's just the current meta. It sucks, but that's what we deal with. So yeah, he's actually, I don't know if he's better in Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 6. I don't know, man, because he is pretty crazy in this meta in Street Fighter 6. Like in Street Fighter 5, his fireball was amazing. His V trigger was amazing. It was like it regenerates for some reason. And his damage was insane. But one could argue like he might be better in 6 given the mechanics. With crouch strong, drive rush. At least in Street Fighter 5, we had a confirm. Even though his confirm was relatively easy compared to the cast, you still had a confirm. There was still some bit of skill with pressing a normal into your EX move for big damage. But in this game, you can do it on block. So like this game penalizes you for blocking, which is really unfortunate. But it is what it is. So you can't just sit there and try to play safe all day because Luke would just do crouch strong on block. If it hits, you eat 40%, you're in the corner. But on block, he's plus. I mean, you have to eat a throw mix up, a strike throw mix up, basically, and it's just unfortunate. But yeah, that's the current meta. Yeah, I think Luke has no weaknesses. I actually don't know who he loses to in the overall cast. I hear he might lose to JP, but you gotta take it with a grain of salt whenever you hear any character mains complain about their character. Except for Guile, because I'm very honest about my character, but that's beside the point. So yeah, I don't think he loses to anybody. Like, if we look at the whole cast, yeah, I mean, who does he lose to? That's number 2. Cammy is rough though, I hear. I heard that too. But you gotta remember from my last video that I talked about this, when you have gorilla characters, like I'm not even doing this yet, but like when you have characters like this, and they're like slightly inconvenienced by something that the opponent presents that takes a little bit of thought, they just think it's over. Like they just think it's a terrible matchup. They don't want to adapt. And they don't want to go into the lab and figure something out. It's really not that. It's really not that black and white, bro. So yeah, I don't think he has any bad matchups. All right, number 3. So for number 3 in my last video 4 months ago, I had Juri number 3. I don't think Juri is number 3. I think she's still amazing, but yeah, I think number 3 right now. I think my number 3 is Chun-Li. So remember, I said this since beta, and I said this since the game came out, that I think Chun-Li is going to be an amazing character down the road. It's just the Chun-Li players that were playing her at the time, they were trying to play old Chun-Li, whether it's from Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5. I think she's like a very, very interesting playstyle this year that took, well, in this game, I think it takes a little bit more time to develop and figure out how to make her work. But now, fast forward, 4 months? She's everywhere, and it's really hard to beat her. Very, very hard to beat her. Like, her pokes are amazing. Her stand light punch is criminal. We're actually gonna pause right here. I want to do like little video examples on what the hell I'm talking about, so people can have a visual. Yeah, this is her stand light punch. Yeah, so when you're playing neutral, and yeah, say Cammy pokes where her stand Mika is one of her best pokes. This is the button that like stops a lot of her tools. Like stand jab, if they just like, it's really low risk. So like you'll hit the startup of a move, you'll punish counter the recovery of it. Like it's just, I don't know what the active frames are, but it's a lot. Like it has to be, because look, you'll hit the startup of poke moves. So it's really hard to play neutral against her. I mean, it's always been an issue playing neutral against Chun in Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. But it's because of her, her stand medium punch. or her stand roundhouse back then, or her stand fierce. It wasn't because of this. Like this is criminal. This is not. That's crazy. So yeah, that's a big reason why I think she's so good. Another reason why I think she's good is so you know, people hate throw loops in this game. Instead of, so the options for throw loops, you either tech, so you either tech, or you could backdash and punish. Sometimes you can't punish if it's meaty, or you just jump out and eat a DP, which is usually a good trade-off. But Chun, she could like take this defensive situation and convert, which is insane. So instead of, you know, playing the whole 33% game on what you think your opponent's gonna do and, you know, eating some damage, you're converting, and like if they just block it, I'm pretty sure she's not punishable on this. -4, -3. Yeah, she could definitely make it safe. So yeah, the fact that she could turn a defensive situation and convert it into offense, it makes people less likely to, or at least make them think more about their next option. So ultimately it means like people are scared to throw her because she could turn it around, you know? Unlike 95% of the cast. Like only her and maybe Juri could do it, and JP of course. So yeah, Chun-Li I think is top 3, and I think Japan is thinking she's #1. I don't know, bro. I think JP is the best. The only reason I think Luke is better than Chun is because I think Luke is pretty easy to use. Everybody can use him. Like your little brother, your little sister, like anybody can use him. I've never tried him, but I'm almost certain I can use him. But Chun, I think she requires a little bit more skill. You know what I mean? Like the blueprint for Luke is pretty easy. Like it's really easy to execute. If you watch all the Luke players, outside of Noah, because Noah has his own distinct playstyle. But if you cover the names of all the tournament Luke players, it's really hard to know who's who. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very hard. But with other characters, like I know the difference between, you know, Angerbird, Chris T, and then your local Ken player. You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to tell the difference. But Luke, bro, they're all doing the same thing. With all due respect, they're all doing the same thing. Alright, #4. Oh yeah, and Chun-Li could convert. She could anti-air you to level 3. So it makes you not want to jump at Chun-Li. But her pokes are so good. So she normally outranges people and out-neutrals people. And she also has a fireball. So sometimes you had to jump at her. But the fact that she could stand roundhouse, anti-air you, and do a drive rush combo, and all this nonsense, like she could cash out. So like, you're eating like 60% for an anti-air, which is not normal. But yeah, so #4 in my old video, who did I have for #4? #4 I had JP. Wow, I was so silly. Yeah, JP's not #4, brother. For #4, I'm gonna put DJ. So these characters, these 4 characters, I think have 0 weaknesses, like at all. Like DJ, I think is a complete character. Like he has no weakness. Damage is insane. His corner carry is great. He abuses the system mechanics really well. But yeah, so he abuses the system really well. Like his drive rush is really hard to stop. Really, really hard. Perfect parry is great for him because he has like a lot of like -2, -3 situations. So if someone wants to take the turn back, you can just, you know what I mean? So look, so this is the current meta, guys. Like it's actually not just DJs across the board, but DJ abuses it pretty well the most. So you would do this, it's like a -2, -3 move. So in most games you take your turn back, right? Like that's just what you do. Alright, so if you try to take your turn back in this game, they'll just try to perfect parry you. And as we all know, it's really low risk. See? Because you can't punish them because the fastest normal is what, 4 frames? So how do you counter that? You counter that by walking up grab. So say he does sway into perfect parry. The counterplay to that is you walk up and grab. Right? That's usually the counterplay because Parry is vulnerable to grabs. But the way DJ is played in this game, this is what he does. And now you're eating 8,000 damage. You see what I mean? So like the way he plays with the -2, -3 situation with current mechanics, it's so abusive. A lot of people think DJ is #1. His OD fireball into drive rush is pretty crazy as well. So the damage you get is just insane. Like it's pretty similar to Ken, but I think his might be a little bit better because the freedom he has, like it doesn't really matter where it hits. It could be full screen. You know, like all right, I'm not a DJ player, but yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can even do level 3. It's crazy. So yeah, I think he's a complete character. I don't think DJ has a weakness. I think if you want to fully embrace Street Fighter 6 and abuse the mechanics, DJ is that character. Very easy to use. DJ #4. So #5, who did I have for #5 4 months ago? For #5, I had Cammy. Cammy at #5. I don't think Cammy is #5 right now. I think #5 is probably Ken. So Ken has one of the best corner carries in the game. His damage is insane. And with all due respect, but you guys know I don't hold anything back against Ken players. I borderline hate them. Nah, I really don't. But the blueprint to success is pretty similar for a lot of his matchups. You don't really have to mix it up. There might be 1 or 2 matchups where you kind of have to be a little bit careful with your Dragon Lash, you know, some silly stuff like that. But for the most part, it's really easy to replicate. Dragon Lash is a skip neutral button. It goes over low jabs, low forward, in a game where crouching mini kick, drive rush is so big and very effective. That's an amazing move. It's plus on block. Here's an example of why it's like a skip neutral move. Because like I know there's gonna be a lot of people in chat be like, oh, Dragon Lash is 85 startup or whatever. I could stop that in training mode all day type people, you know? But this is what Kens are doing, bro. In tournament, not at home in your boxers. They're doing this in tournament where you're not comfortable. Nerves are a big factor. You probably didn't eat. You're starving. This is what they're doing. So look, his drive rush jab is actually so crazy. Like, it's actually insane. Oh yeah, that combo. So yeah, his raw drive rush jab combos in crouch fierce. So you can only imagine the combo potential. But yeah, on top of that, he could do that. You know what I mean? Like he has a lot of options. So he can do raw drive rush jab, pretty hard to stop. And then he can do that, bro. Like that is the craziest one in my opinion. Cammy's crouching strong is really good at catching drive rush, raw drive rush. Yeah, see? So if you do raw drive rush, it's pretty easy to stop. But you could do shit like this. You know? Like, look at that. You get a punish counter. Yeah. But I feel like Ken's always been in a lot of people's top 5. Obviously, it's Ken players. They're not going to think that. But like I said, when people talk bad about the character, you got to take it with a grain of salt because I don't know. I mean, I know what it is. When people play a top tier, they feel like people are constantly discrediting them, which I get it. But you also don't want to try to play dumb too, you know? Like for JP, let's try to say nice things about JP players, yeah? So, yeah, you have crazy amnesia. The zoning is built in for you. Your normals are not whip punishable. But let me see. Let me think of stuff that I can say nice that JP players are doing. I guess he has a lot of moves. He has so many moves. He has a lot of options. You gotta... Okay, all troll aside, he has a lot of options to where it does take a good player to acknowledge when a certain opponent is gonna land, or when an opponent is gonna land on a projectile or portal and figure out which combo route they're supposed to take. He has a lot. You can't really go wrong with either or, but I will say he does have a lot of combo routes, but ultimately that just means he's fucking amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to compliment JV players because they're all doing the same thing. Yeah, I think this rounds out the top 5. And I do think, like, you could switch out a lot of these characters. So, I did say top 4, I don't think has any weakness. The only weakness Ken has, in my opinion, and I don't think it's that much of a weakness because all his other tools are amazing, so it kind of makes up for it. But his fireball is probably the weakest of all the fireball characters, in my opinion. But his OD fireball makes up for it because you can throw a full screen OD fireball in a fireball war, do raw drive rush, and now I'm in the corner and I just ate 40%. Bro, look at me trying to figure out the weaknesses of Ken. See this? Okay. Yeah, so fireball, but OD fireball is just as good, so it's okay. He doesn't have any weaknesses either. Okay, so that rounds up the top 5, I think. So for number 6, who do I have for number 6? I have Blanka. And this was when Manon was winning a lot with Blanka. So of all these characters, I think these characters are in the same tier. But I think Juri will probably be number 6. People forgot about Juri. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just recency bias because Juri players aren't winning tournaments, but nothing has changed. There's no emergency patches that happen. She's still the amazing character that abuses the mechanics really well. She can put herself in the -3 situation, perfect parry, similar to Dee Jay. Amazing DP. And if you suck like me and can't DP, you have your crouching heavy normal to anti-air for the people who can't DP, just in case you can't. Yeah, her fireball is really good. Her drive rush is one of the hardest to stop. Her level 1 is pretty good Oki. You get like, it's not like real Oki, but you get 2 dashes, and yeah, it's still a really great super. It goes through fireballs. Pretty simple game plan. And she's another one of those characters that can convert off a throw loop. So like if you're getting throw looped in the corner, I think Juri can wake up, jump meaning punch, and into dive kick. It's riskier than Chun-Li and JP because if they block it, then I think you get punished. So that's the only thing. But besides that, her blueprint is also pretty easy to follow, pretty effective. So yeah, I'll put Juri there. Okay. So for number 7, 4 months ago in number 7, I had Chun-Li. See, but I said it from the jump. I said give Chun-Li time. She will make her way up there, and she definitely did. So yeah, 7 is clearly not Chun-Li now. So it's either these. Yeah. So let me make sure. So for 7, I would probably put Cammy. So for Cammy, the reason why she's down here is because like her bare bones combo doesn't do much. Like it's not a lot compared to these guys. Don't get me started with Dee Jay. But yeah, all these characters, actually maybe not Chun. Because Chun does need meter to get big damage, I think. If it's not her anti-air. But Cammy's strength is her pokes are amazing. And corner carry is amazing. But at the highest level, because you know, this is all opinion, but I think I played at the highest level. I played against, you know, Kakaru, Punk, Mena. And I've used Cammy at the highest level, and bro, it is really difficult. I'm not lying to you. Like it is actually pretty difficult to play Cammy at the highest level because when Luke is whiffing crouch strong in your face and it hits, you eat 40%, you eat 2 grabs, and now you gotta make a comeback, right? Her comeback potential is not bad, but when you're up against JP and Luke and Dee Jay and they're doing the things they're doing, Cammy's gameplay is actually pretty honest. Like she's not gonna really throw you off and do the -2 perfect parry situation. It's a really straightforward gameplay, similar to Guile. It's pretty straightforward, so it's not tricky. So usually when it comes to that at the highest level, it's pretty hard to win consistently because they know what to expect. You can't really, you know, season a little bit. It's pretty bare bones. So yeah, at the highest level, I think Cammy's pretty hard. I think you gotta play pretty perfect. So yeah. So for number 8, I had Dee Jay. Oh my goodness, bro. Okay, so a disclaimer here. If I were to go back in time and pick a character, I would play Dee Jay. I'm not gonna lie to you. Dee Jay, I think he does everything Guile does better. The only thing Guile has over him is his overall fireball. I think his overall fireball is just a little better than Dee Jay's. But clearly his OD fireball is just insane. So yeah, so number 8, I had Dee Jay in 4 months ago. Number 8, I would put Guile. Isn't that crazy? So 4 months ago, I had Guile number 1 and Dee Jay was number 8. But now, fast forward 4 months, is Dee Jay number 4 and Guile number 8. You know, I think about this a lot. Like, it's not just personal opinion and like my personal matchups. I factor in everything, like tournament results, how the internationals are using their character and how they're using it against their peers, and then internationally, and then personal matchups as well. So it's not just, it's not just based on tournament results or my personal bad matchups. But yeah, for Guile, his like I said, his fireball game is amazing. Sonic Boom and the Drive Rush is amazing. His pokes are great. His level 2 is amazing for burnout scenarios. But besides burnout scenarios, it's not that effective. You just parry everything. So I just talked really good about Guile. Now I'm gonna get to the complaints, and I can get into the nitty gritty because I play this guy. I've been playing him for like 11 years. So his anti-airs are the worst of any Street Fighter I've played. I played Street Fighter 4 Guile. I played Street Fighter 5 Guile. I played Street Fighter Cross Tekken Guile. And I played, what's that mobile game? The Street Fighter, what is it called? Yo, this one right here. The mobile one? Street Fighter 4 Champion Edition. Even that game, Guile's crouching heavy punch works. In this game, it does not. Hey, I'll show you. There you go. I don't know how to replicate it. But if you watch my streams and you watch my tournament runs, you've seen my crouch heavy punch lose more than it wins. And at best it'll trade sometimes. But yeah, his anti-air this is the worst crouch fierce. Like it's so bad. It loses to Ken's jump heavy punch. It loses to Luke's jump heavy punch. It loses to a lot of characters. Blanka's jump heavy kick is really good versus it. Just not a consistent anti-air. So yeah, his anti-airs are very questionable in this game. I think he's an amazing character still. Back then, right? I thought Guile loses to JP. So I'm talking about 4 months back then. I thought Guile lost to JP. I thought Guile had slight advantage over Luke. I thought Guile beat Chun. I thought Guile beat DJ. And I thought Guile was 5-5 with Ken. And I thought Guile beat Juri. And I thought Guile had slight advantage over Cammy. Now, bro, I think he loses to JP. I think Luke Guile is still 5-5. It's a very hard 5-5 though. His level 1 is still BS against Guile. I honestly think Chun-Li Guile is 5-5. And Chun-Li players are going to hate me for that. But bro, you guys are only getting better with your character. You're finding new stuff. Guile's going to play the same. He's going to be the same as that character. Dee Jay, I used to think Guile wins, but yeah, after talking to Fudo, obviously Fudo, he destroyed me in Paris, but I also spoke with him, and he thinks Dee Jay wins. I thought Guile won, but after he explained it to me a little bit, it kind of makes sense. Like, he just thinks Dee Jay flat out wins the Fireball War. So if you take away Guile's best tool, like, what does he have? Is he going to go poke for poke with Dee Jay? Dee Jay has sway. He has sway into 40% damage in corner carry. He has throw loops, which Guile doesn't have. So, like, if someone trying to make a comeback on you, right? Who are you going to fear more? You're going to fear Dee Jay, who has all these tools and crazy damage, or are you going to fear Guile? The answer is pretty clear, So, me personally, I still think, I don't know. I want to explore the Dee Jay matchup more. I see where Fudo thinks Dee Jay wins, but I don't know. I don't like to, be so conclusive when it comes to matchups where the game is still so new too. Yeah, and Kev, I've been telling the Dee Jay players in America, you gotta use your fireballs. Like, I've been consistent since the beginning. Like, you gotta use your fireballs. Like, why? Like, I'm shooting out 1 fireball, you're shooting out 2. Why are you not chucking fireballs at me? Why are you not shooting your 2 fireballs? It's a no-brainer. Okay, but yeah, Guile right there. 4 months ago, I had Marisa right here on the 9th spot. I don't think Marisa's right there. Not when... I will put Blanka right here. Oh yeah, Blanka's carry, like his corner carry is really good. His level 2 is like top 2 in the game. Like I think top 2 level 2 is Blanka and JP. I think JP's might be a little bit more brain dead, but Blanka's is just as good. It's crazy. Like it's crazy good. Your Blanka doll, your Blanka Chan in the corner. So it's like a guaranteed setup to get your Blanka out and get it going. So that's really good. And he's one of those characters on defense, he doesn't have to deal with throw loops as much. he still has to deal with them, but he has an option outside of backdash, jump out, and tech. He has the jump back Blanka ball, and if he does the OD version, you're plus on block. That's insane. So yeah, it makes people more hesitant to throw loop him. So yeah, I think Blanka's a really solid character as well. And then to round out the top 10, I would put Rashid. I remember when Rashid first came out, people didn't think he was that good. I don't remember the reasons why. I actually don't. But yeah, his level 2, it is so shocking to say, but it somehow is better than Street Fighter V V-Trigger 1. And it's because of a few things. One, throw loops exist. So in this game, if you're cornered and level 2 is coming at you, you're forced to take 3 throws, which is a pretty significant amount of damage, or eventually guess the tech. You can't jump forward because the tornado is right behind him. So yeah, his level 2 is crazy. And if he doesn't miss screen like a scrub, you can't just walk back and give up space just so you don't have to deal with it. No, he's gonna kick the tornado towards you and you have to deal with it. So yeah, I think Rashid is really, really good. He has meterless overhead combos. His drive rush is really fast. And he can also abuse the perfect parry scenarios as well. But yeah, really good character. Alright. So yeah, I think this rounds out the top 10. I think you can win a tournament with any of these guys. I think anyone else, like any of these characters, you're gonna run into some bad matchups. Even because people say Luke is like Rashid's worst matchup. I just seen JB beat Mad Luke players. We just saw Gachikun beat Chris Wong in the Singapore finals, Singapore CPT. So yeah, it's clearly not that bad. Rashid is just so good. Like he's one of those characters where like level 2 can make him overcome a bad matchup. It's like he has a lot of tools. All right, so this is the top 10 in my opinion. So what characters we got left? We got 10 characters left. Okay. Of all these characters, I think it's pretty obvious. I think Marisa is next. I think she's easy to play. She honestly probably has the #1 damage across the board, like whether it's a punish from a shimmy or pretty close to it, whether it's a punish from a shimmy, a full combo from a clean hit, cashing out, level 3, all your drive gauge. Her damage is crazy. The Gladius is really hard to deal with. Like in training mode, it's pretty easy to whip punish, but in a real match, they could do the light version, the medium version, and the heavy version, and they could let go of it sooner. They could fully charge it. So a lot of times you'll see players getting punished trying to whip punish too early because the Gladius was held longer, or sometimes they'll just get hit because it was released faster. So yeah, Marisa's right there, in my opinion. Her weaknesses, I would say, is she does get perfect parried a lot more than other characters because of the startup on a lot of her moves. So her Superman punch, you could react parry. Her Gladius, you could definitely react parry. And even on Wake Up, I learned that, sorry Marisa players for telling people this, but on Wake Up, you don't have to take the charged heavy punch. Like you could see it and just parry it, and then you can get a perfect parry. But you gotta be kind of nice with that. But yeah, so yeah, I do think she gets parried a lot, and in a game where the current meta is perfect parrying everything, that's not good. She's still really good though because of her damage. Like she still makes you guess. Like she has Oki after almost every knockdown. Like it's crazy. Her command throw, she could command throw. Oh, and she's one of those characters where being vulnerable in burnout is not much of an issue. She still has to deal with it, of course. She still loses some of her tools, but if you try to DI her in the corner, she could armor it, or she could Gladius it, I think. For sure, she could armor parry, and yeah. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. So number 12, 4 months ago in the number 12 spot, I had Honda. Damn. Okay, the number 12 spot, I would put Dhalsim. Okay, so I put a lot of thought into these characters. I didn't really think about the lower tier characters because I just don't think about them often. But Dhalsim, I think, is pretty good, honestly. It's just the mental stack of playing him when you're up against these gorilla ass characters. Like it's just. I think it's pretty hard. And not to downplay, I think Guile goes through similar. Like when I watch Zaffarino play, he's an amazing player. Dhalsim from the Northeast. When I watch him play, I'm like, damn, bro, like he's trying to navigate through this game when characters are drive rushing in his face, doing low forward, unblock, all this crazy shit. But it's not to downplay anything. I think Dhalsim is really good. His anti-airs are great. It's still hard to get in. The fact that when you're blocking a Dhalsim normal and it's not giving you great health, it's not chipping away your health, it's just chipping away your drive gauge, I think it gives players more leeway. So if you're a really good player, you'll acknowledge that, and you'll eventually develop some strategies to be really economic with your drive gauge. And I think that's the proper way to play Dhalsim. But yeah, I think Dhalsim has to think way more. They got to play really good, really good. So yeah, Dhalsim right there. Okay, who's next? Who's next of all these characters? I'd probably say Kimberly. Of all these characters, probably Kimberly. Her offense is really hard to deal with. Well, it's not really hard. You know what to expect when she's really up close. Like on knockdown, you know what to expect when the spray can is out. It's either you're gonna have to take the throw or you're gonna get hit because you don't want to get thrown. Yeah, her offense is good. Her neutral is not bad, but if you're gonna try to enter a tournament with Kimberly in a game where characters like these exist, I would say it is a little bit harder. Yeah, and like if you watch a lot of these top Kimberly players, they're doing like a lot of random run slides, a lot of OD run overhead. If it works, good for you. But what if it doesn't work the next round? What if Luke blocks it the next tournament? So it's really hard, I think, to win playing like that. And I don't know if she's supposed to be playing like that, but that's how the current Kim players are playing. So I don't know. But when I watch Punk play Kimberly, he's actually just playing neutral, and he be beating a lot of players with Kim. So I don't know. But yeah, I think Kim was like right here. So this is the top 15. So Aki. Aki's an interesting one. Of all these characters though, I'd probably put Lily. I think Lily's growing on me a little bit. She's pretty annoying to deal with. She has ways to sneak in her little whirlwind store. So against fireball characters where she generally gets zoned out, if she's blocking booms over and over again, that's not what you're supposed to do. All you have to do is you do your store move and then you release it. Like I watched Combo Fiend do it to me. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty smart. So yeah, you eat the sonic boom, but you gain the store, which is a huge trade-off. It's really worth it. But yeah, once she gets in, like it's a guess. Like she has a command throw, she has like 3 jabs into a special move that leads into the same situation. And when she has a stock, like a win stock, it's kind of random on when they want to do it. And if you're playing a good player, they're gonna be pretty selective on when they want to do it. Or even then, they don't have to be selective. They can just do it, and it's hard to stop. So yeah, I think she's not bad. She's not bad at all. She was pretty, like, in my old tier list, she was last place. Yeah, I don't think she's last place anymore. I actually don't know who's last place right now. Because like I said, every character is viable. You could win matches with any character. Now to win a tournament, it might be a little bit harder. But yeah, Lily right there. Of all these characters, honestly, I'd probably put Ryu. Ryu is he's an interesting one. He's not bad. His damage is amazing. His throw loops are really easy. Like it's a throw loop. But his damage is actually really good. I think, yeah, when we see Ending Walker and Paladin play, like I feel like people can see the light. But ultimately, he does have his weaknesses still, and to deal with all these top tier characters, it's like, why play Ryu when you have Ken and Luke? Like there's absolutely no reason. They do everything Ryu does better, right? Like what does Ryu do better than Luke? If we're being honest, what does he do better than Ken? It might be really small things that might not come into play in like a grand scheme of things, but honestly, I think if you're a competitive player and you're a Ryu fan, you pick Luke or Ken. Daigo's known for Ryu. Actually, he's known for Ken too, right? In Third Strike. But Street Fighter 4, he mainly played Ryu. He's not touching this guy. He's not touching Guile either. He went straight to this guy. But yeah, that will round up the toughest scene. Now the final. Oh, so there's 20 total characters? Okay. What's the worst of all these? You guys gotta remember, every character is viable. So I'm gonna stay safe and put Aki right here since he's kind of new. I don't have much to say about these characters. I'm not gonna lie to you. Honda might be the worst of all of them. I don't think Jamie's that bad. He has really good tools. All right, I'm gonna just do it. Bam. I think Honda's the worst. But he's still viable. Like, I struggle against Honda all the time sometimes, if it's the right player. But yeah, Aki's still new. Like, when I watch her play, like, it just seems like an honest game. Like, she has a lot of strike throw. You know, like, and her level 2 is pretty good. And I think she's still super underdeveloped. Like, and no one's playing her. Like you see the base tool set. If you're a competitive player, you see the base tool set, and you just know, like, she's not gonna be able to win you the $1 million, you know? So why even try to delve deeper into her when you see all these characters? So I think that's a pretty big tell. People were iffy on Rashid. Like, some people were quick to jump on him, but players like me, like, I saw the level 2, I was like, I'm not gonna provide my opinion yet. I just knew, like, that level 2 is actually insane. Zangief, his neutral is pretty good. Like, his stand main punch, the 3 chops is pretty good. His level 2 is pretty good. His level 3 has an amazing range. I think his lack of anti-airs is definitely a problem, especially against characters like Luke and Cammy. And he can't deal with crosses well. He has to resort to perfect parry. So yeah, I would say that's his weakness. Jamie, his obvious weaknesses are what is it? He starts off with 90% damage or something like that. I don't know. Jamie players be telling me they're always on a downplay tangent with him. But I just think with Jamie players, they'll be like, yeah, he's so bad. You know, I gotta drink 5 times. But I'll play a Jamie player and they do the breakdance move in my face on block, and they just throw the control and be like, yeah, see, he's terrible. I'm like, bro, like, you did a terribly minus move on my face. What are you talking about? That has nothing to do with Jamie. That's you. You don't have to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't. But yeah, no offense to Jamie players. You guys be doing some wild shit and trying to blame Jamie when it's really not Jamie's fault. He can be played solid. I keep bringing Punk up, but Punk Jamie is actually pretty good. So yeah, you don't have to play like that, bro. You don't have to throw your body at him. I know you guys start off at 90%, yada yada. Just drink up, have a drink or two, and you should be level. And don't do the breakdance move in my face on block. Manon, I hate to give Idom any more feel, but when I do watch, and it's not like I'm watching a very mid-level Manon. I'm watching the best Manon. I'm watching Idom. He's an amazing player. No, he's not carried by Laura. No, he's not carried by V-Trigger. He's amazing with Poison. I've watched him out footsie Luke players in Street Fighter 5 with Laura. Like, Idom is not carried. I don't know why you guys keep saying that. And you guys don't like to acknowledge that he is playing a weak character. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I don't want to give Idom more of that. But yeah, Manon, her neutral is good. Her neutral is definitely good. It's hard to whip punish her. But her Oki is actually pretty bad. Like, you know how I said in this game, if you have different combo routes that leads you to different reward, like more, if you want better Oki or more damage or, you know, screen positioning or corner carry, that's usually a good thing if you're not giving up too much. So for Luke to choose corner carry over damage, it's not a crazy, like, you could choose either or and still be in a really good spot. Manon, she has to make a decision if she wants to go for Oki or go for the command throw hit one, so where you build up a metal, but then you're not in a great Oki spot. So the fact that Manon has to do that is actually, it's not good for her. the fact that she has to do that. The medals are scary if she gets it, but like I said, she has to give up Oki. So she's hitting you, and if she wants to build up a medal, her reward is for the next mix-up. But the thing is, she needs like 4 of them, 4 medals, to be really scary, and where it has to be a factor and, you know, be considered by a lot of top players on defense. So in a game where Luke could kill you in 2 combos, no exaggeration, he could kill you in 2 sequences. JP could kill you in 2 sequences. Dee Jay, Chun, Ken. Why are you, as Manon, trying to build up 4 medals, and you might not even get there in 2 rounds? Like, why are you trying to do all that and try to play for the next round? My man Problem X said it the best. He said, "Why are you doing side quests with Manon, trying to build up medals when Luke is doing all this?" Bro, Problem X is the funniest guy. But yeah, but it's true. Like, why are you doing all that extra stuff with Manon when you could just be playing Luke, JP, DJ, Ken? Get the job done. Get in there quick, get out there quicker, and yeah. So yeah, Manon, her whole gameplay is flawed, in my opinion. The DLC did. And Honda. I think Honda. So I played the best Honda I played, actually. His name is Nassim Master. Amazing player. It has nothing to do with Honda. He was just amazing. Like, but he made Honda. Well, I won't say he made Honda work, but he's just so good that, you know. But like, he's playing Honda. He's playing really patient. I'm sure some of y'all have seen it with his match versus Valmaster in Paris. Played amazing, but he still lost. But yeah, Honda, everything gets perfect parry. So in today's meta where perfect parry is so prevalent, Honda is like so vulnerable to that because all of his moves, he throws his whole body at you. So when the game first came out, people thought Honda was amazing, but it was because we didn't, like, perfect parry wasn't in our muscle memory. It's still not, but we're trying to go for perfect parry more. So back then we didn't know how to deal with butt slam. You could perfect parry now. You can anti-air more consistently, and the headbutt you could perfect parry, or you could just, you know, swat it out with a button or DP. You can do a lot. So a lot of his options are pretty bad. So ultimately it comes down to his neutral. His neutral is not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. So honestly, I mean, I hope I eat my words, but I don't see Honda winning at like a big tournament ever. Like, unless no one is in that tournament and you just have a great bracket. But I just don't see Honda. I think everyone's viable. Like, I've lost a Honda before. I don't think I've ever lost him in a tournament, but I've lost a Honda before in like ranked matches and stuff. Like I said, every character is viable, but Honda is gonna struggle. Like, actually struggle. But yeah, this is my this rounds out the updated tier list. So this was my tier list from 4 months ago. It's so crazy to see. Guile number 1. Luke actually stayed consistently in the same spot, but he changed for different reasons. But he's still number 2, if that makes sense. JP was number 4. That's silly. Who is in here that didn't belong here? Generally, I was correct though. Like, all these characters, like what, 6, 9, 10. The only character I was wrong about that moved a little bit was Marisa. But for the most part, all these characters are still up there. They're just interchangeable a little bit. The worst character is Lily, no longer the case. Yep. This is my updated tier list. So the game's been out since August. We are in December. And yeah, this is my tier list, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all tuning in for this video. But yeah, I've had a lot of experience with this top 5, guys. Whether it's online tournaments, spectating, traveling to Saudi Arabia, traveling to Paris, getting my ass kicked. You know, I'm very observant, so this is what 4 months did to me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and yeah, tune into my Twitch. I'll be streaming 24/7. We'll do open lobbies, and yeah, appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see y'all next time.